Hey everyone, welcome. I'm happy you're with me once again. And so I'm going to talk about this full moon in Virgo. So I have a bit of a cold, which is kind of fitting since Virgo deals with the healing energies. So hopefully at the peak of this full moon, I'll start to recover. Um, so Virgo is, of course, on the axis of this healing energy, which connects Pisces and Virgo. So those two signs are polarized on either side of the um, zodiac. So this full moon in Virgo arrives at 1:19 a.m. on the 18th of March. It is at the 27th degree of Virgo. So we're just about ending this series of moons that are at 27 degrees. 40 minutes, this one exact. It's going to arrive at 12:19 shortly after midnight on the Pacific coast and 3:19 in the early morning on the eastern coast. And of course, here in central Canada is at 1:19. So this full moon actually can bring out or bring to light the unhealthy parts of yourself, whether that's weight, whether that's maybe you have a specific pattern that you keep repeating because Virgo is about patterns. And where you need to cleanse and heal and clear this energy, not only with yourself, but also with other people. And so that's really important. Virgo is breaking down. It quite often breaks down in order to get to the root or the crux of the issues and the dysfunctional parts of ourselves that seek awareness. So Virgo likes to really be self-reflecting. What did I do wrong? Am I part of this? It's very discerning. And so it wants to really dive into what things can I eliminate in order for me to heal or heal the situation. So the full moon is always a peak of culmination. It's always the peak of existence and awareness where we recognize things that actually are right in front of us, but previously perhaps we had our heads down or we weren't really paying attention. So at this time, a big old spotlight from the moon shines down right on you, and it is addressing a certain specific area of your life. So find out where you have Virgo in your chart, and that will indicate what area needs to be healed, perhaps, or what area needs some extra attention or focus. So Virgo is about the healing powers. So you'd think that that would be kind of more Pisces generated energy because Pisces deals with the hospitals and those larger institutions of healing. But Virgo is actually the nurse, and Virgo is the actual one doing the work within these larger facilities. So we've just had that pretty amazing new moon at the beginning of the month in Pisces. And now we have this beautiful healing energy to find the solutions to possible health issues that you're having, or health issues or sickness anywhere in your life, whether that's in your relationships, maybe it's because you don't make enough money that you can't support yourself. Maybe it's because your career is not going well and some of the area in there isn't working out as you expected. So the Virgo energy is the wise woman, the witch in many cases. She has her bag full of herbal concoctions. She brews portions and remedies from the bounties of the earth. And so she is the naturalist. who seeks alternative forms of healing. And with her is the discernment, the assessment process that she goes through to determine what actually is the problem. Is this a symptom, or is it actually the problem? So she figures this out through that discernment, but also she works through the cycles and repeating patterns. And she's weaving together those patterns from ancient wisdom. And while clearing and cleansing away the debris, Virgo energy wants to improve and become perfect. So she is seeking to be of service, the perfectionistic energy, seeking always to improve herself. And sometimes in this process, an individual can take on the energies of somebody else. And so she quite often reflects or mirrors what she is seeing. So we can have that kind of embedded, and then she feels guilty because she could have done more. She can become the martyr. And so we don't want martyr type energy to infiltrate this. So the full moon here seeks the underlying overall cause of the health issue and the healing process, whether that's an individual, a nation, a country, a group of people. It's a time of detoxification and purification in order to improve clarity. So it's an energy of clearing away this debris and releasing what is no longer needed or necessary. So this is a great moon for detox, diet changes, house cleaning, smudging techniques, all of those energies to get rid of that stagnant, old, dead energy. So there's a lot of water available in this chart as well. And with the Mercury and Jupiter and Neptune, which are applying to Neptune, ready to set into that Jupiter Neptune conjunction, ready to happen on the 12th of April. So the sun is just past its conjunction to Neptune, and all are in that really weepy, wet sign of Pisces. So this is the vast ocean of motion, really, and that there's no boundaries or limits. And so we're just building into this energy. And so the water is kind of rising, and we have to watch that flooding, extra emotional energy that is coming to the surface. Faith is part of this, a strong belief system that we can conquer anything and we can do anything. And so it's unbound energy that is really so large, it's really hard to contain. So in this, all this water energy, it's really good to get in the bathtub, do some salt baths, and do some cleaning of the aura as well. So we're ridding ourselves of this energy, and we're preparing, we're getting our physical bodies, which is Virgo, ready for this big wave of emotional energy. So whether that pops you into psychic, highly intuitive, maybe you start a new mantra, new meditation practice, following a new guru, but make sure you drink lots of water. So this moon is kind of by itself, and with the last moon had this really tight bucket energy, which is really focused and really contained energy. And now we have the moon shooting out of this bowl, and this moon now has this bucket or bowl now has a handle, and the handle is the moon. So everything is drawing out of it and through the moon. And that's how we're kind of expressing it. And so this indeed can make us still really quite focused, but now we want to do something about it. We want to take that energy of that bowl, which is really divided in half or in two parts, and we want to actually heal it, fix it, and actually work our way through the details of it so we can move on healthy in a healthy manner. So our focus is heightened, and we have perhaps an unwavering direction that we are looking to head in. So the closest connection that the moon has is that beautiful trine to Pluto. Now we know that Pluto is at 27 degrees. It is triggering the United States Pluto return. And there's a lot of energy in the last moons that have been really like bang, 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 really connecting with that 27th degree. The moon is also in trine to the north node, now at 27 degrees of Taurus. So we have this big Earth grand trine embedded. And so this kind of plays well because it gives us a steady stream of positive direction. And that's really grounded and really put together and perhaps organized because we have this Virgo energy. So this trine is going to produce practical resolutions to various problems, and we're going to get a real grounding here of control that we can actually move forward productively. So the Earth trine stabilizes, but it can make us a bit complacent. Oh, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll rake the yard tomorrow. I'll get on that diet tomorrow. But it can also make us super determined and persistent to accomplish the things that we need to do. So Pluto is a desire to control our destiny. It is revealed, it sees what is underneath. So this moon is really going to reach down and pull out information that's underneath that we didn't really look at previously, or we didn't even know it was aware. So Pluto in Capricorn is perhaps under behind the scenes activities, especially going on with governments. And so we're working through some of this new information that perhaps is coming to light. This really kind of spells well for some negotiations in relation to the Ukraine and their people. So we're super perceptive here. And we almost have a bit of telepathy going on. So you have to really watch that, because what you believe somebody is thinking may be just in your own mind, not actually in their mind. So if one is raising their status, this is a really good energy. It's promotions, advancements, and really moving forward, peering into the soul to say, what is it that I would like to do next in my life that's healthy? So this in mundane energies really addresses those leaders of the world and the power of the masses, because Virgo is with the moon. So the people want to heal. They want to see their governments do something that is productive and not wasteful. So these are new discoveries. And really, we have this tidal wave of ocean energy also that is pulling out and revealing so much stuff as well. Like the earth is going to give up lots of its treasures and to assist us in moving forward. So karma is attached to the energy of the Capricorn energy. So the consequences of our actions will be mirrored in our choices. So what are your choices are and your actions are going to have an impact with where you go and how much control you actually have in your life. The trine to the north node and the sextile to the south node indicates that this is the perfect time to look to the past. What were you doing previously that obviously led you to this point? And now, what would you like to do in the future to launch you onto a different platform? Maybe a new destiny. And this is instinctive, reactional energy, and things are moving really quite rapidly. We get a feeling or a sense of what we need to do next. So pay attention to that intuition. So the moon is ruled by Mercury, and it is at 13 degrees of Pisces, is applying to a conjunction with Jupiter. And this is opening new space, new solutions, new visions and dreams for the future. And so this is highly imaginative, creative thinking, interests in expanding our knowledge, with all things spiritual. And perhaps you'd like to take a spiritual course, seek a new interest in a different religion. And maybe it's not because you want to become involved with the religion, but maybe just to understand it. There is new knowledge seeping in here, and perhaps it's coming from the angels, perhaps it's coming from the higher octaves, and it's sustaining us and supporting us. And like the dream, it comes, but we don't necessarily remember. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to all of those energies that are pushing you in one direction or the other. Feeling is really important here. I feel as though I need to do something. And so one will have to write down these big plans and these dreams. So keep a journal. And do be cautious about other things that aren't or don't resonate with you. If you are listening to news media, make sure that you have an element of discernment. Is this information healthy for me? Isn't it healthy for me? And is it believable? And so there could be an extensive amount of propaganda here that is really out in left field. And so we really need to be cautious. In addition, we have these talks of chemicals, pharmaceutical, drugs, maybe vaccines. And so we really need to be cautiously aware of those as well, because according to this, those things aren't necessarily healthy for us. So if you do some muscle testing, maybe you'd like to do that if you are taking chemicals or medications of any kind. So spiritual education is most likely on the rise. Meditations, interest in anything that is connected to that, healing practices and new healing practices, whether that's Reiki or Theta or body talk or any of those modalities. This is most likely a time where people are also seeking out alternative ways of healing. So this is pretty self-contained energy. This whole moon and Pisces energy that is like all bound up into itself. And it really doesn't go anywhere from there. So we could find that we have these group of people who are really in that area, and they're not really pulled out into the other energies that are manifesting unless somebody is pulling them out. They're kind of really secluding themselves and not wanting to be a part of perhaps the mundane world or what is happening out there. So they're isolating themselves in this bubble, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you need to recuperate, if you need that time to seek spiritual healing energies, and if you really want to find yourself in those energies, please feel free to do that. It's a really positive thing to do. So then on the other side, we have this other energy. So Venus and Mars in the liberating sign of Aquarius have been riding together or together pretty closely over the last month or so. And these two now are starting to separate. And Aquarius is about that liberating energy, that freedom fighting equality. I want to be equal. So, and I want, it really plays into the democratic society or democracy. So we are beginning, these two are beginning to separate. Venus is once again moving ahead, and she seems to always be showing us the way or showing us the path since last November. So she's a really, even though she's small and connected to the feminine, she is really leading the charge. So we are beginning to see this, and she is now within range of Uranus, and Uranus through a 90-degree angle, and that produces friction or a square, or there's a problem that's about to emerge. Now, these two are in mutual reception. So we have Uranus in the dominion of Venus, and Venus is in the dominion of Uranus. So they can actually kind of switch places, or they complement each other, even though they're in a square. It kind of softens this energy, but it also kind of leads me to believe that perhaps there are those in positions of financial stability that are kind of enacting or pushing this energy forward. And so this is, and of course, can be financial markets, banking, the banking system, lots of money, perhaps manipulations in the markets. And there's some drastic shifts that are going on here. And there's a breaking down, and perhaps for profits for some, but there's kind of this energy that's pulling it back. And Venus, of course, Taurus, which Uranus is in, is about our food supply. It is about our stability, what we value, what is worth. So this inflationary rate that's going up with our food supply can also hit kind of a crisis point. And so the cost of goods and services can be impacted, and agriculture itself can be impacted. So this almost says we're going to be paying more for lots of things, including oil and gas, because we're heading into a Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, which rules those oil and gas industry. So the Virgo moon, so we really have to watch that Venus-Uranus energy. Mars is heading towards there shortly after Venus, and in around that equinox. So this is really volatile, rebellious energy that is going to begin to emerge. And maybe we need that faith of will and that healing energy to compensate for some of this really volatile, eruptive energy that's about to come upon us. So whenever you get Uranus, you can get unpredictable weather events, electrical grid problems. You can get cyber attacks because of Aquarius. Aquarius is here. So we could see attacks on the banking system or financial system in general. We have this kind of really explosive energy because Uranus does explode. And so we're having a lot of this energy that can be really rather volatile and eruptive. So if you're in that energy, of course, you would want, and most likely you're fighting for your independence, equality, equal rights, your belief systems to some degree. And so we really have to keep an eye on that energy, which is emerging, because it kind of settles into that equinox chart, which sets the tone for the new astrological year that is unfolding before us. So wherever you have Aquarius and Taurus, those are areas where you are going to see the most charged energy emerging, and perhaps some fighting, disagreements, and upsets. So do be cautious and be aware of it. That is the key. When something comes along, you can go, I know exactly what is going on here, and I can back up from it and remain objective. And that's what Virgo does. So this Virgo moon is great for cleaning, purification, changing your diets, seeing things uncovered, unsurfaced, so you can make intelligent decisions going forward. This can be a time of being of service. Donate your goods to charitable foundations. Make sure you do a background check. Find out the details. That's what Virgo loves to do. And when Virgo sinks her teeth into something, she doesn't stop until she has all the facts. She wants to know all the information, not just pieces of information. So talk to any Virgo. They will be able to recite nutritional facts, health facts. They're really good at business a lot of times. So really listen if you know a Virgo in your family. They're pretty precise about what they're talking about. So also this 27 degree relates to blood sugars. So do be careful about how much sugar intake you're eating around this full moon, because, you know, we can have some issues with the pancreas and the blood sugar levels. Also, this is a great time. It's a perfect time to explore some of those herbs, maybe begin to decide what you're going to plant in your garden, and maybe delving into tea and tea rituals and all of the stuff, the natural world we have around us that God gave us for us to heal ourselves and heal our own body. So this new full moon is also close to the fixed star of Zavajava, and according to the constellation of Words, it makes for really reliable workers, attentive to every detail of the job. Who would have thought? Will make a good salesman, executive, manager, or subordinate commander. So when I say this, those issues are going to come to light. The workers, how is the job being done? Salesmen and their role or occupations, executives, managers, and commanders. So that could be commanders in the army or the military. But we need someone, all of those people have someone who is directing them. Even the executives have somebody, the owner of the establishment. So this is a key to ensuring those jobs are well done. Virgo does not like inefficiency. Virgo wants perfect. And so this could put a lot of pressure on those mundane jobs that, hey, is this being done, or is the work being done? So it is, of course, a sweared loyalty to another. And so Virgo also needs to do this, that credibility, authenticity, and originality are extremely important to Virgo. So this is taking charge under them and running a ship for them. This is really being of service to your community, but more to yourself. Primarily, this is really important to be of service to yourself, because when you're of service to yourself, you can be of service to other people. So take that healing journey. And I'm going to be back in the near future to talk about the spring equinox and the year ahead, the astrological year ahead for all of us. So I bid you farewell, and I will be seeing you soon. Bye.